All right, Donna Watson, president of Bermuda National Athletics Association. Earlier today, you released a statement with some great concerns. Can you just elaborate on the topic and the subject of your press release?
Yes, Earl. Basically, we just want to get the information out to the public. All of our affiliates, are aware that if they're putting on any sort of running race and not the charity walks like the N2A, that does not come under the BNAA. But anytime anyone has any sort of running event, it has to be sanctioned by the BNAA. And what we're seeing, and we understand because the economy is what it is today. So, people are trying to think of ways to raise money, and an easy way, of course, to raise funds is by having some sort of race, be it a running race or road race. And we don't have a problem with it, but it's just that we want the public to know that there is a process. We are the governing body of track and field and of road running. So any running race that anyone puts on needs to be sanctioned by the BNAA. We need to approve that the date does not conflict with other dates on the calendar. And that's also from a safety aspect also, Earl, because if you could imagine if we have two races, say, for example, in Hamilton, one going one way, one going the other way, and those two races clash, that could be a safety issue. So, that is a concern. But also, we would never put on I would never get up in the morning and say, I think I'm going to put on a bike race or put on a triathlon event without consulting with the national governing body. And I think, people think because the roads are free and so on and so forth that they can do that, but they can't. They really should be coming to the national governing body and, advising that they would like to put on a race. We also have some criteria that we follow for road races to make sure that races are safe, to make sure that races are held correctly, that we give to any race director. So basically, we're just getting concerned because we're just seeing races pop up here, there, and everywhere, and, they're not on our calendar. And so, when we discussed it in our meeting, we basically said, I think we need to get out to the public because, as I said, our affiliates are aware that if they put on a race that they have to contact the BNAA to get it sanctioned and to make sure that, there is a space on the calendar. And we just need to let the public know the same thing because there are a lot of charities that are trying to put on different events. So, we just want the public to know that there is a process. And the process is if you're putting on any running race, that you need to contact the BNAA to first get it sanctioned, and number two, to make sure that it's not clashing with another event.
If the BNAA see that there's going to be some sort of a road race and they feel it's going to be unsafe, what role do you play in? And I would imagine stopping it, having the organizers contacted of some sort.
I guess basically, Aaron, if you think even of the May 24th Derby and so on and so forth, basically what we would do is once we find out who the race director is, we would usually contact them and, see if we can, because we do have a road running committee, and we'll get the road running committee to meet with them to make sure that, number one, to explain to them if there is another event going on that it will probably make sense if they try to have it another day, especially if that date has already been booked by an event on the calendar. And as you know, we did have an issue last year with that. We also try to sort that out. So we basically meet with them. We talk about all of the criteria that we have to make sure that they have, the correct water stops. Because a lot of people don't even realize in races there you have to have water stops, and different things like that. So basically, we would have someone from our road running committee to contact the race director and discuss the criteria, and also say, and all we could do, Earl, is say to them, it will probably be a good idea for both parties involved if you don't have two events on the same day, or sometimes even back to back, because at the end of the day, one of the events is going to lose out. And also, as I said, depending on where you're having the event, it could be a safety issue. I don't think we could go to that organization and say, we're going to make you cancel the event. I know from an IAAF level, they could do that to us. But, the way that the laws and so on and so forth are in Bermuda, I don't know, rather, I don't think we have the right to go to someone and say you have to cancel the event. But, of course, it will not go under an affiliated club, because the clubs know that any race to be sanctioned, it has to go through the BNAA.